Now, many of you might not know this, but November is actually Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. So today, we're actually going to focus on something that does not get enough attention, and that is men's and boys' mental health. Men often face unique pressures and stigma around mental health, and too often they suffer in silence, and we're not allowing that today. So today, for our Taking Inventory Roundtable, we're joined by three amazing gentlemen who are helping change the conversation and showing others the importance of asking for help, which is the main thing. Welcome Juan Escobedo from Caring for Denver over here. Thank you, Juan. We have Dr. Halim Ali with From the Heart Foundation. Thank you for being here. And John Perez with Denver Healing Generations Network. Thank you all. I could not ask for a better panel. I'm really excited. I want to start with you, Juan. I just wanted to know why you think it's so vital to discuss men's mental health right now.
It is very important to discuss these things because we see that there's a lot of pain in community, there's a lot of trauma, and what I'm hearing a lot is that there's a huge drivers to isolation.
Yeah.
And a lot of the things that come up for us go underreported. We are not that great at searching for help or looking for those points that fit in the care for the things that we need. So right now it's important and vital to just spread the message to make sure that it's okay to take care of ourselves as well.
That's beautiful. Just, it's okay. It's just enough to hear. Dr. Halim, your organization, From the Heart Foundation, works with the community and towards mental wellness and empowerment. What are the biggest challenges you would say that men and boys face when it comes to what Juan said, like opening up about their mental health?
The biggest challenge would have to be hyper-masculinity.
Amen.
Living in a hyper-masculine culture where men are defined by what they see in the movies. They define themselves by what they may see in video games. And, you know, it becomes taboo to cry.
Amen.
It becomes taboo to say, I love you.
Right.
It becomes taboo to say, I need help.
Right. So
the biggest challenge comes with getting men to express emotions,
yes,
to just not be numb.
Yes, that's so well said. And the hyper-masculinity, I totally agree with. Not that I'm a man, but I see that, you know, my guy friends. But John, have you noticed, I'm really interested in this question, any shifts, especially younger men, on how they're thinking and talking about mental health? This next generation is different, am I right?
It is.
Okay.
It is. So when we talk about healing, that's what we do at Denver Healing Generations. We take a look at our men, and our men are now starting to understand that they have wounds that they've carried since they were younger.
Yeah.
So when we do the background work with our youth, we expose our youth to these cultural ways of living and using culture as a vehicle to heal our young men. And so when we provide a space for our young men that they can be their authentic self,
yeah,
they can feel comfortable, and they see themselves reflected in the work that we're doing, then their heart softens up a little bit. Their attention to the needs that they have is focused.
Yeah.
They're focused on that a little bit more, and so those are the trends that we're seeing. Exposing our young people to cultural practices that they can see themselves reflected in is where we're seeing our biggest impact.
I like how you said softening that heart. That's so important. Juan, let's say a viewer's watching, okay, and because we're talking about that, is feeling down, but kind of unsure, like you said, feeling a little uncomfortable, where to start. Give some advice to the viewers on where you would start first.
Yeah, definitely. So just for the men out there, we just gotta be real with ourselves. We know when we're in pain, we know when we're suffering. And when that goes unaddressed, it just comes out in very negative ways and very destructive ways. We are really good at taking care of others, and I just wanna make sure that it's okay to take care of ourselves. We just take the time to say, hey, I'm hurting, and that's okay. The next step would be for the other men around other men. Hey, you got a buddy next to you. It's a lot better to offer a hand of help or an ear to listen to than burying one of your best friends. So just know that suicide is huge, loneliness is huge, and all those drivers just destroys us from the inside out. Reach out to people, closest friends, to your closest family members, whoever that is. Just say, hey, let's go for a coffee, let's go for a walk, let's have some chicken wings and watch the game. It's just those simple acts that really takes us away from our heads, out of isolation and into a space where you can be yourselves.
That was a stunning, stunning answer. That was beautiful. I'd like to actually pose that same question to both of you. Dr. Ali, what do you think would be the first place to start if they're uncomfortable or unsure, you know?
I would say start by recognizing your triggers/stressors. because a stressor will turn into an early warning sign. An early warning sign will turn into things breaking down.
Yeah.
When things breaking down turns into crisis,
Yes.
and now it's too late.
Yeah.
Now it's too late. So identifying the seasons, because this is a season where suicide, depression, loneliness is more prevalent.
Wow.
Right? So we have to overdo our self-care in times like these. If my self-care consists of me going to the mountains once a month just to be in nature, maybe in this season I go 4 times.
Right, right.
Right? And definitely creating that support, tapping into your support system. But whenever we talk about support, I want to emphasize that we want to make mutual support a high priority.
Reciprocity there, yeah.
Make yourself available to be there for others just as much as you want others to be there for you.
Oh, these answers are making me cry. What do you think, John? What's your answer?
Great question. And so where I would say, I think we need to identify what the root causes are.
Yeah.
And when we talk about men's mental health and young men's mental health, it's a historical significance in terms of we've assigned young men these roles of being providers and protectors.
Absolutely.
And that's gotten lost in translation. So oftentimes our young men define that as the need to be tough.
Yeah.
And so when they need to show up to be nurtured and cared for, they often don't know who to go to because we tell them as a society to toughen up and to man up and those kinds of things. And this is where, to your point earlier in the segment, that our young men are suffering in silence.
Yeah.
And so what that breeds is it breeds this unhealthy way of coping. And so this is where we're seeing our substance use, domestic violence, suicide, all of these kinds of things. But it's also understanding that it's generational. Oftentimes our young men got that way of living from their father and their father and so on, and that goes all the way down the line.
Wow.
And so it's being intentional about providing those spaces for our people to heal from those kinds of things, but also understanding that healing is not being soft. Asking for help is not weakness, it's strength.
Yeah, I'm asking for help and I am in therapy and it is tough work and you do the work. It's not soft at all. It's very hard, actually. Okay, Dr. Halim, I actually want to ask you, how do we start building healthier habits and conversations around mental health early at home, in school, or in other activities? Because it's hard to sometimes just break the ice, you know what I mean?
I love that question. And I would say establishing practices early in life. And when I say practices, I'm talking about learning an instrument, learning another language. I mean, it's things that are as simple as that to create those analytical thinking skills early. So now when you have problems, you're not pigeonholed into solving that problem one way, right? You have those inductive reasoning skills that have been cultivated early. Right? Exercising. When I have fathers come to me saying they can't get their sons to do anything, I say, well, are you getting next to him modeling it before you're asking or demanding him to do it?
Smart.
How does he know how to do it if he hasn't seen it? Right? And we can't give what we don't have. So if you haven't grown up seeing your father do certain things or watching a certain level of support happen in your community, it's taboo.
Yeah, right.
So I really feel like it's important. This is a worldwide epidemic, and I really feel like it's gonna take the world to undo the trauma that has been done. But it starts in the home with small things, having dinner at the table at the same time, saying grace, going back to some of these old concepts and principles.
Amazing. You guys have made me so happy. This is I really just hope that people who are watching take this to their loved ones. If you're a man or a boy, you hear this, but if you're a woman, you open this up into a discussion where you can also have that help come to you. So a big thank you to Juan, to Dr. Halim, and John for sharing your insights. It's been incredibly helpful on today's Taking Inventory. And to all of you for joining us at the round table. Thank you so much. Today's conversation was such a powerful reminder that men's mental health isn't just an individual issue like they all said. It's a community one. And the key is knowing that support exists. And why I started this segment is because the more we talk about it, the more we're breaking that stigma. And remind everyone it's okay to ask for help. Amen. And love yourself. Because I'm trying to, you know what I mean?
Come on, do it.
That's right.